When it comes to the keys to success, talent certainly plays its part, but it can be argued that hard work is just as, if not more, important. If you happen to have a combination of both, natural ability and a powerful work ethic, nothing is out of reach. But this is rare. Rarer still is for someone to carry that same work ethic over to every aspect of his or her life. And if you can find such a person, you celebrate them. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to Roosevelt High School, where one senior is leading and inspiring by example. We began our first ever Senior Spotlight in this same room. Here's part of the reason why. The seniors are integral to this team.
So the dance team this year is really, I think, a special group because especially a couple of our seniors, they all come from really different backgrounds. We have two girls who have been on the varsity team since they were freshmen. We have two girls that this is their first year on the dance team. And then we have two girls that's worked their way through a JV team to be on the varsity team. So between the six of them, they just have all different backgrounds, different leadership styles, and it's really made the mix of kids really fun. Our seniors are in charge of a lot of things, and sometimes they take that freedom a little liberally, but they are in charge of making sure they choose hair, they choose makeup, they choose, they do team bonding things, so they run a lot of our stuff with our freshmen and our underclassmen to make them feel welcome. And we really look to them during practice to set the tone of how we operate as a team. How hard do you go, and doing it full out all the time, being consistent, being supportive, and that's really, they set the tone, they set the vibe, and this group has done a really good job with that.
It's actually almost the end of the competitive dance season, but you won't see any slouching. Everything changes from here on out.
So this is kind of typical of Roosevelt dance, but we started without a lot of top finishes. We haven't really been in the top three very often, and we are in the 2 weeks before state at this point, and this is my favorite part of the season because these girls become all of a sudden so driven and so creative. We placed in the top three at our home invite, and that was all that they needed to really push them forward. So we have 2 weeks left, and what we love to do is reinvent our routines for state. So we mix things up, we change choreography, we change features, and the kids that we have really adapted to enjoying that part of it. Some people really hate that. It throws them off and they don't like it at all. And these kids look forward to making something new so that the judges who have seen us for all 8 competitions don't look at the same routine when they see us for state. It's a lot. It's a lot. So my assistant coach and I really focus on what things aren't working, what comments we've gotten from the judges, and we just go back to the drawing board. What do we like about the routine? What's not working with the routine? And then we recreate as much as we can. So it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of patience from the girls because this sort of adaptation, we don't do it any other time in the season. We really try to stay true to our choreographer's vision at the beginning, and then now that we see what's clicked and what hasn't clicked, this is really the only time that we throw it all up in the air and say, what do we want to stay?
Championing this team through this critical phase is senior Brooke Peterson.
Brooke is super special to me and to our program. I think she has become someone who has grown into a leadership role, and the thing that stands out the most about Brooke is that she is never, she's extremely talented, but what I like to say about Brooke is she wasn't born doing pirouettes out of the womb. She has worked for every single thing that she's gotten, every award, every new skill. She's pushed herself and pushed herself and pushed herself. And one might think, given the talent that she has, that she would kind of lay back and not necessarily be the hardest worker on the team, but that's the exact opposite with her. She is always the one doing it full out. She's always the one leading the charge and asking more of her teammates, and I don't see that very often, especially in someone as young as her, to see I'm not only talented, I'm not only gifted, but I'm gonna work it every single day, and that's the super cool thing about her.
That talent and hard work have been shared with private dance studios, in addition to school teams, for a long time.
I'm on the competitive club team Champion Legacy, so after my high school dance season I will be full-blown right in that schedule and will start competing as soon as possible. I started dancing at my church around, I think I was in 1st grade, and my aunt actually watched me dance and said I need to go to somewhere more challenging, so then I ended up at Champion Legacy ever since. I just like the consistency of practice every day into competitions. Like, it's just like a nice schedule, and like it really pushes me to like test my abilities and my strengths.
At school, dance is just one of the many activities that fill her time.
I'm involved in competitive cheer and dance, sideline cheer, link crew, best buddies, National Honor Society, Environmentalist Club, and Cancer Runners Club.
And just in case you're wondering how much time,
For the dance team specifically, we have auditions in April, and then we start what we call our summer season, which is 2 to 3 days a week. We do drills, we do workouts, we do technique, and then throughout the summer we have 4 days of choreography camp. That's 8 to 10 hours a day. So that's a 40-hour week already, and then you put in our open gyms and all the rest of it. Our team bonding activities, our camps, we attend camp in the summer as well. So her summer's pretty much shot with that. Our season opens the beginning of August, so since she's on both the competitive cheer team and the competitive dance team, she's here 8 hours a day from the beginning of August through the time when school starts. Again, the crazy thing about her is you wouldn't be able to tell a difference between hour 2 and hour 7. Like, it looks the same. It is constantly at the highest level she can achieve. So that just always amazes me. But she's here 8 hours a day then. After school, she starts dance practice at 3:30, then goes to cheer practice until 7, and then can have studio after that as well. So there were days in the summer that we had dance from 8 to noon. She had cheer from 1 to 4, and she'd go to 5:30 a.m. yoga. She's just like, that's the way she operates. It's just one thing after another. So now that we're in season, it's that schoolwork, the homework, the practices, the competitions, the traveling on a Tuesday night to somewhere and coming back late, and just maintaining a balance with all of that stuff. So
homework isn't a small piece of this equation either. This advanced placement calculus class is just one of many challenging classes this year.
AP Calc, Anatomy. I'll be in AP Government next semester, and AP Macroeconomics. I really want to try to go to a college out of state. I want to major something in the medical field, so like taking challenging classes now will like help prep me for college.
Her commitments don't even end there.
My student mentor, Oscar Howe, just like, it was another class I could take, because last year I peer tutored at Roosevelt, but then I kind of wanted to take it a step further. Mrs. Anderson was my 3rd grade teacher, and I love her to death, and she is so awesome, and like she just makes the class like really fun and just makes everyone want to learn. I just wanted to challenge myself and do something different, and like really just like put myself out there and try something new.
she elects to make her life as busy as possible so that she's as well-versed in all sorts of things as she can be. She volunteers, she goes to yoga, she dances at a private studio, she dances here. I mean, she's all over the place, but it's all for the betterment of her own skill, for her own future. She's involved in school activities, she's showing up at games, she's sideline cheering. I mean, she really is doing just about as much as you can. We just did the talent show. We came off homecoming week, and not only did she perform with the dance team, but she performed her own solo in the talent show as well. So just taking opportunities that are in front of her and maximizing them, and she's amazing at that.
Which brings us back to leading this team.
The Roosevelt dance team has been it's a bit younger this year with different dance backgrounds, so it's been not like a challenge, but like it kind of tested us to see how far we can go and how much farther we can go by state. So it's just been a really like fun season, and we might have not placed the best that we wanted, but we will totally aim for it at state. They're really fun teammates. They always make me laugh, and I'm never in a bad mood at dance. I kind of push the younger athletes to like be the best that they can, and always like assure that I'm there for them. Like if they need help with anything, that they can always come to me.
Really, my favorite thing about it is that she doesn't have to say anything. It's just her demeanor and her professionalism and her ability just to do what she's supposed to do day in and day out all the time. And that's what I love. There's no preaching from her. It's just how she lives and how she practices and how she competes. And it's always at the highest level that she can be. And so our freshmen who see that, I mean, it's contagious to our seniors, it's contagious to our juniors, and then the freshmen who walk in assume this is the way it's always been. This is always how it is. But it really does take some of those key people to create that sort of vibe, and she's definitely one of them.
The fact is, in addition to leading this team as a member, she's already a coach too.
I'm at Champion, I'm coaching a team there. I coach the younger level team, the junior team, so it's like middle schoolers, and they compete nationally too with us. So I'll travel with them and coach them there as well. It's really fun. I've never done it, so this is my first year, so it's kind of been something different, and it will challenge me, yes, but it will be fun.
And what's already such a huge part of her past and present will also be a part of her future.
Being a senior is like fun, and it's your best year of high school, but it's also like really like sad that everything's coming to an end, but I am just trying to go to everything, be a part of everything, and just make it the best I can be. I plan to try out at a couple of D1 schools and hopefully make one of those teams. Hopefully the University of Minnesota, or if not that, Ohio State University.
I think she's going to go on to dance in college, and we would love to follow her and watch her. And the dance program is still relatively young, and so we're just now starting to have alumni come back to us and come back and teach camps and come back and be a part of the new group. And we would just love, I mean, even if it's not she comes back to us, but watch her from afar and be her biggest supporters and champions, because I think this sort of legacy that she's building has really shaped and molded the program into something better than what it was before.
It's not a stretch to say Brooke exemplifies what a Rough Rider should be.
She really is. I mean, she's the total package. She's got the cheer, the dance, the activities, the extracurriculars, the volunteering, and then just being a good person in the hallways. I think for her teammates, she's a really consistent force, and I think that's something that in this age category is really difficult, because a lot of girls can show up and be amazing leaders, and they do. We see those moments in them, and they have this great moment where they become that leader. I think for her, it's consistency, and that's what really sets her apart. Is since I've known her as a freshman, I've really not seen a time or a practice or an instance where I've had to come to her and say, "You got to pick it up. This is not working like this." And I've never had anyone like that before. So that's remarkable about her, and I think her teammates aspire to that. They do that without even her having to say anything.